I've entered my crochet projects into shows for the last 5 years. And let's just say it's been a journey. Wins, regrets, a couple of craft related breakdowns, and I'm gonna show you all of my projects. Hey besties, I'm Emma. Welcome back to Woodvale Lane. So let's get right into it. Let's start with 2020. So this was definitely the year that didn't really work out for me the most. And that's because all of the shows were cancelled. I had crocheted a project to enter into the Sydney Royal Easter Show that never made it on display. And that was this shawl. Ironically, the pattern is called the Virus shawl, or the virus pattern. It's called that because the pattern gets incrementally larger like a virus, but I guess it was poor naming and probably a poor choice of project. I did start this in 2019, so well before what was happening in 2020 happened. Once the world was shut down and it was very clear that the show wasn't going to happen that year, I stopped working on my shawl. Now it is mostly finished, except for a couple of the loose ends. I hadn't actually finished weaving in all the ends. I really lost motivation in 2020 to keep going with it. The yarn that I picked for this was a Karen cotton cake, and it was in the colorway Maritime, I think. It kind of really does give that sort of beach energy, and that's why I really gravitated towards the yarn in the first place. And it is quite a warm shawl, and I really just need to finish off these ends. So I didn't expect to win anything for this project. I was just entering for fun, and it was going to be my first show, so I was really excited to go and see it on display. My biggest lesson that I have learnt from doing this shawl is that perhaps shawls are not really for me. Like I said, I haven't finished weaving in the ends, so I haven't even thought about wearing it. So maybe that's something that I should go back and do now. It's just definitely one of the least used crochet projects that I've ever made. And that's saying something. When 2021 rolled around, I had skipped that year and I didn't want to re-enter my virus shawl. So I thought I would really focus on what I wanted to make for 2022. And I have to say, 2022 was one of my best years. I made this very cute baby dress. So the pattern that I used for this dress was the Marion dress by the Mole Hall. I'll also link all of the patterns that I used down below in the description. And I absolutely loved how this turned out. It's super lacy, and I just felt like this project just turned out so well. And all rounds, this project had really good vibes to it. I got a little bit stuck when I was doing the repeat skirt part of the dress, just because it kind of got a bit tedious and I got a bit bored with it, but I just kept persisting and it just came out so well. And the yarn that I picked for this was the Bendigo Wool & Mills cotton yarn in, I think the color was just pink, or a light pink. So you're wondering, did I win anything for this? Yes, I did. I got highly commended. It actually gave me a lot of confidence as a crocheter that I might actually have some talent for this. So that's why I kept going in the next couple of years. And do I still like it? Yes, I do. I just wish that I had someone to give it to so that they could use it. Other than that, I love it. Another thing that I entered in 2022 was this handkerchief. Sorry that it is a little bit crinkled. It is linen, so it just, you know what it's like. You have to iron it every time you want to wear it or use linen. It's so annoying. But anyway, I entered this as just sort of something fun to push my skills because I didn't like using finer thread. And I think I used a size 10 or size 3 thread. I can't remember, but I used a Curio. They actually don't have this category anymore at the Royal Easter Show, which is kind of annoying, but I can see that it's kind of a dying art. I think it was definitely more of a show of how you can do a border more so than anything else. And there was always one person that does amazing looking handkerchiefs, and she basically always wins. But she uses sewing thread, so I can understand why her handkerchiefs were so much better and why they would always win. Did I use a pattern for this? No. I freehanded this border and then I attached it the best that I could to the holes in the handkerchief. My original plan was to crochet in these holes, but when I counted all of the holes there on each side, there was not an even number or even the same, so I thought that it would decrease my chances of winning or even placing if I did that. So that is why I decided to attach it instead. And did I win anything for this? Yes, I got third. Do I still like this? I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I don't use it for anything, and you can tell by the wrinkles that it's just been sitting in my cupboard ever since it got home. And these are my ribbons, but I don't know what to do with them. If you are someone who has also won lots of ribbons from shows, please let me know, what do you do with your ribbons? Okay, moving on to 2023, I entered 3 different projects into this year. I'm going to start with this top, which I promise it looks so much better when it's actually on somebody, but just like holding it up, it doesn't give the same sort of energy. So the pattern that I used for this was another mole hole, and it was the Sea Spray top. One thing I really liked about this project was the yarn choice that I picked. Again, it was Bendigo Wool & Mills cotton yarn, and it was in the color Peppermint, which I think is discontinued now, but it's such a great green. I wish they would bring it back. One thing that I really learned while doing this project is that bobbles are kind of hard to get the same and even, or at least they are for me, in cotton yarn. But nevertheless, I persisted. Ooh, I should show you the back of this too. It doesn't look that good without it actually being on somebody. I really love this pattern though. It has a really cute crossbody back, and it has like a really nice ruffle down the front. And I really like this ruffle continuation that it has around the top. I really want to make another one of these tops in a light color blue for my daughter. I think that she would love it. I still like this top. It still fits my daughter. No problems there. She likes it as well. And I didn't win anything for this top, and that was okay. I still think that it is a great piece. And the fact that my daughter loves it, I can't really put a price on that. The next project that I entered again was a handkerchief. The whole story as to why I entered a second handkerchief was that the handkerchiefs came in a 2-pack. I know, maybe that's a silly reason to try and enter again when I had been so successful, but I thought, you know what, why not try again? I decided this time as well that I was going to use a finer thread and really challenge myself. And besties, the challenge did not work out for me. I entered it, I didn't place, and overall, this handkerchief was just a bit of a disaster. I think it may have been because I tried to crochet onto the handkerchief instead of just crocheting the border and then attaching it with thread instead. This was also a curio yarn, so this was either the 3 or the 10, I can't remember, whichever one is thinner. I used that, and I think the color was mulberry. I didn't win, and I don't really like it anymore, if I'm being honest. I think it was just kind of a lazy submission. I was crocheting this literally the night before I had to hand it in, and I think that's just part of the reason why it didn't win anything. I was rushed. It looks rushed. That's it. That's it, really. I did block it at the time, but it has kind of started to curl on itself again, which I think was another problem and probably why I didn't win anything for it. The curling of the edges just wasn't it. Okay, on to the last project that I submitted for 2023, and that is this really cute baby dress. It was a little bit too small for my daughter when I made it, but that's okay. It ends up going to her dolly for a little bit, and then I have it back now. A little bit of grass in here, it's fine though. So again, this is another mole hole pattern, and this was called the Lacy dress. I was really feeling myself when I made this dress. I thought, oh my gosh, it's so bright, it's so colorful, it's so bold for kids wear, but I'm just gonna go for it. Again, I used a Bendigo Wool & Mills cotton. I absolutely love this dress. I love that it has this lace fold down on the top. Perfection. In the midsection, it has again like another lacy part, and at the bottom it also has the same lace. And between that and just the whole project came together really good, and I absolutely loved it. And this dress was my main focus, and that really showed because I won third. This dress also taught me a little bit of patience, because when I was doing the repeated section down on the skirt, I noticed that I had done a mistake like 4 or 5 rows back, and I had to go all the way back and undo it. I think I only had a month left to do that, and when craft time is really precious, having to go back 4 or 5 rows is so detrimental to the finishing of the project. My friend and I had so many late nights where we were just talking to each other while we were trying to finish our projects for the show. Honestly, she got me through it. Thanks, bestie. So after the super ambitious 2023 year that I had, I decided 2024 I was not going to enter at all. So I didn't, which was honestly for the best, because 2025 rolled around and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try and push myself again and enter something. I'm sure you're all sick of seeing my little mushroom guy, but he went to the show. I didn't win anything for him, but the project was really fun. I have a video linked here somewhere. You can go watch that about the pattern, and yeah, just like a bit of a deeper dive about him. I used yarn from my stash to complete him, and you know what? He's just like a happy little mushroom guy. My daughter loves him. He's a bit worse for wear now, but I don't mind. I'm so happy with how he turned out. I didn't win anything for him, but I was just so glad to see, you know, other people talking about him when I went to the show. So the pattern is called Mushroom Guy and it's from Critter Stitch. Again, linked below. And last but not least, my final project that I entered was this vintage baby jumper. I got this pattern from a vintage crochet pattern booklet that I have. It is Peyton's Baby Time 611, jumper number 16 if you're wondering. I used Peyton's Baby 4-ply for this one, and honestly, didn't have any problems with the yarn. I think what I had the most problems with was the actual pattern. So I had like 4 mental breakdowns while I was trying to make this jumper specifically. If you call out my best friend, she'll tell you, just how bad it was. Honestly, it was too much for a jumper. I'm happy that I did enter it. They did display it backwards though, which was a little bit disheartening. I think I know where I went wrong and why I didn't place at all for this. And it definitely has to do with just the proportions of the jumper itself. I'm showing it here. Like the arms do seem a little bit too long. Like this is a crop top for a baby almost. I don't know what I was thinking. I did think that it was good though. I did learn that you can block acrylic yarn, which is great information. But was it worth my mental health? I don't think that it was. I also agonized over the button choice for way too long, and I made my mum drive me to Spotlight to help me pick buttons, which is like quite funny. And it's quite a distance too. It's like a 40-minute drive one way and then a 40-minute drive back the other way. And thanks, Mum. I do think that I will make this again, but I have learned a very valuable lesson, and that is that in the booklets, especially vintage ones, sometimes their terms are just not correct. And I think that's just what happened with this. So let me know which one of my projects was your favorite. And if you've ever entered your crafts into a show, let me know. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss a video. Bye.